Hey everybody, I'm gonna keep this kind of short. I have some new lawsuits I gotta file. So anyway, I was informed by some individuals this morning that Andrea Haplin, who is the town attorney for New Carlisle, Indiana, has filed a protection order against me. And the allegations that Miss Haplin makes are that I posted that YouTube video that she didn't like, and that I had allegedly called her office for legitimate business. And she didn't like that. Now, she has filed a protective order against me. And it states that I can't come within 300 feet of her. But here are a few problems that Miss Haplin is so fucking stupid and retarded. She's married to a judge, and she's just above the law. She just doesn't get it. So the first problem is that there is a New Carlisle public town hall meeting tomorrow. And if I don't get anything in writing that I am not able to show up to the meeting, then I'm showing up, and I want them to arrest me. So I've had conversations previous to this video with the town of New Carlisle, Jill Dahl. Uh, uh, she didn't know what was going on. I talked to the chief of police, Cal Dittmeyer, who didn't like the fact that I was yelling at him, so he didn't want to talk to me anymore. Poor baby! Oh, poor baby Cal Dittmeyer! Oh, who still lives with his mommy and who works for the CIA. Poor baby Cal Dittmeyer! Wah! 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 Alright? So, so here's the deal, and I'm not making any of this up. You guys can go, look this up, talk to lawyers, however you guys need to proceed to understand that this is not going to work out well for the town of New Carlisle. But basically, the first area I like to start at is all of these allegations were in Miss Haplin's official capacity. So meaning, that Miss Haplin, she's a governmental official, okay? She is contracted through the town of New Carlisle, all right? So she's a governmental, employee, and I have all the protections I would say against a mayor, a law enforcement officer, a clerk, etc. Okay, I can redress her in a unpopular way that she may not like. Okay, now keep in mind, I'm talking about her official capacity as the town of New Carlisle's lawyer. Okay. Now, if I were to go outside of that capacity, go to her home, follow her around, okay, then then that's stalking, that's harassment, all right? Maybe not so much harassment, but that would be pretty much stalking. But I'm not doing any of that. I am redressing my government per the First Amendment, okay? So that's the first issue they have. That's the first hurdle. The other hurdle is there's a Indiana open door policy that refers, I have not followed fucking her, bitch, and you need to fucking call me. Anyway, so, so the state of Indiana has a open door policy. Okay, basically, in a nutshell, anybody can attend a public meeting. There's some loose criteria. You can't disrupt the meeting, etc., etc. And she can't bar me access. The cops can't bar me access. Okay. The other thing of it is, there's two other things. That how the records process works to file for public records in your Carlisle is you have to contact Miss Haplin. So since I can't actually contact her, how am I supposed to get public records pursuant to the Indiana public access laws? And how am I supposed to redress my government per the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America? Okay. The other thing of it is Indiana has a anti-slap law. Okay. Now, basically, if anybody can tell me I'm wrong on this, please tell me I'm wrong. Cite the IC code, cite the federal a code, cite me case law, cite me anything. But my contention is that this protective order is a form of a lawsuit. Okay, I've been told, lawyers have told me every time they file protection order against me, that's a lawsuit. Okay, so I'll take their word for it. And so, if that is the case, then I have protections under the anti-slap law in the state of Indiana. So here's where I'm going with this. I'm going to file a response to Ms. Haplin's bullshit in protective order court in Judge Gamich's court here today. I'd like to go in and actually file it, but I'm not going to fight that fight right now because they'll probably arrest me for filing court documents. Yeah. The other thing of it is, because I can't take my camera in there, so it's their word against mine, and I'm not going to fight that fight, so I'll just put the fucker in the fucking snail mail. The other fucking thing of this is I'm going to file a federal lawsuit today. I'll get that filed by mail to the Northern District of Indiana, and, we'll get into this legally. But, if I don't get anything in writing via email by the town of New Carlisle or the chief of police by the time of the public meeting tomorrow, I'm assuming I am able to go in, because I don't need to get arrested to have my constitutional rights violated. So, I'm going to keep calling the town of New Carlisle. If you guys would like to call them, I'm not going to stop you. I'll post their phone number in the description if you'd like to redress your government. But I've been trying to call back, and either their phones are busy or they blocked my number, because I'm sure their heads are about to explode, because, at this point, I don't think they know what to do. And Kyle Dittmeyer said that I cannot go to the public meeting. I have that on recording, so I'm going to use that in my federal lawsuit, that he's advising me that I have to stay away from her, so I can't go to the public meeting. See, folks, if you take anything away from my situation, or you take anything away from Hate the State down in Florida, or from Eric Brandt, or, from just, Mexican Padilla, or, people who stand up for freedom, and then you piss off the county or the state enough, or your local, municipality, and then they start using legal laws to silence your speech. Isn't that quite amazing that they as in lawyers and law enforcement, who are supposed to be trained on, what the Constitution is, they're going to use legal laws to silence your speech for a prior lawful act. And then I'm also of the opinion that if I am denied access to the meeting, then I would say that is retaliation by Miss Haplin and by whoever puts their name to this. Whoever I can prove that says, we're denying you access to the public meeting tomorrow, Mr. Stone, then I would view that as a criminal violation of a retaliation for a prior lawful act. So here's the deal, New Carlisle and Miss Haplin. You're not going to win this. You may win short term if you guys don't give me any actual letter that states that I am not welcome. Then I'm showing up. If you guys are dumb enough to arrest me, then, I'm going to file another lawsuit and include more people. The other thing of it is, though, if I am truly just about filing a lawsuit, some people have said, oh, you're in it for the money, swine. You're a greedy little whore pig. And, to an extent, I am a fucking whore of a pig when it comes to money. But in this situation, I live in the goddamn town. I live in the county. I pay taxes. And I don't like paying it myself. I don't like it. Okay? And so I was throwing them a boner to look into this. Now, Cal, I actually cited I cited anti-flap law I don't believe state of Indiana doesn't have a anti-flap law. I meant to say anti-slap law. So anyway, you guys have a lovely, and I do mean a lovely day there. Let me read some of these comments, and then I have to yeah. So Gamich, he is in St. Joseph County, but you know, St. Joseph County, they have to take a anti-slap, motion. They have no choice. It's a state code. It's in the state, criminal code. So they have to fucking well, it may be civil, but anyway, they have to rule on it. So, if they deny it, then I'll send it to the Court of Appeals. But, they have to accept it. So, also, there's some, well, see, that's another problem. You bring up something that I've been fucking harping about now for quite some time. The boardroom is, I'm not set up for e-filing. So they can't deny you. See, here's something else, and I've got to go. And you brought up a valid point on this, is, the federal Northern District of Indiana, as in John E. DeLugio, he has threatened to actually take away my ability to file federal lawsuits because, he's a governmental agent. He needs to die. That's right. Johnny DeLugio, you need to die. You need to die. So, before you start filing federal charges, you might want to look into that. Check that out, sir. Anyway, that I contend it is that filing a lawsuit against your government is a part of the First Amendment pertaining to redressing your government. The redressment of your government doesn't specifically say, just in what manners. There's a plethora of way one can redress your government, just as long as you're not breaking any laws. And because he doesn't like I file a plethora of lawsuits and he's a governmental agent, that's his own personal bias, and that needs not to come into his professional, judicial capacities. The other thing is, sir, is you brought up that I can't file pro se paperwork that I can't file pro se paperwork that is filed paper. Yeah, I would love St. Joseph County to deny me. I view it a constitutional right to file lawsuits involving your government as the defendant, and I would love for St. Joseph County to do that to me. Anyway, I'm not reading any more comments. I got some shit to do.